Okay, so hi you guys, and thank you for watching my channel. I was totally dancing and the phone started recording on its own, so I guess it's telling me to go ahead and get this going. Here are some pictures of me during this time frame. So today we will be doing a story time on, well, I'm not gonna speak on it. I'm gonna let the title speak for itself. So let me go ahead and give some backstory. This happened in 2018, 2019, and I was working for, I probably shouldn't say the name of that company because I would love to go back to that company, but I was working as a loan processor in Stockbridge, Georgia. And when I tell y'all, that was my favorite job in the whole world. That was my favorite job in the whole world. But they would not pay us what we deserve to be making, to be loan processors. And I'm not trying to be funny. The bank was paying shitty ass pay at that time too. But the bank was paying a little bit more for loan processors, doing underwriting, etc. So I was just like, why are we're making pennies on this is not enough. So the job was getting to the point where it was not enough. It was frustrating. People's morale was low because of course if you're not making decent wage, your morale is going to be low. Now, for anybody wondering how do you know when you're not making enough, when you take your check stubs and you can't apply for no apartments unless it's income based or income restricted, that's when you know you are not making enough. Like when I tell y'all they was shitting us on the pay, they was shitting us on the pay. Later I found out why, and I don't even want to speak on it because like I said, this is a company I can see myself going back to later to build up and to fix, but I'm not going to speak on why. So yeah, we're going to get into it. So this was a little while after December because of course after the holiday time, after our sales goals, we reached this point where we're really trying to get, how do I say it, creditable creditable loans going out. So there was issues where people was just giving loans, and of course the loans were not being paid. Like our collections list was so long, it was bad. It was bad. So at this point in time, there was roughly 5 girls that would usually work the shift with me. And to be perfectly honest, I did all of the customer service, and sometimes we would take turns on the underwriting. The reason why I did mostly all of the customer service is because the customers would request it. Because other than the other Leo, they loved me. They loved me. Like our customers loved me, okay? Because I went in grave detail about the loan. A lot of people skim over the contract. They don't read the whole thing. They don't go over each and every portion because it's really the customer's job to read their loan, but most people do not read their loan. So when it came time for me, all my clientele, that especially those that actually brought me more and more clientele, they love me because I go in depth. Like, you know everything. We've went over everything. We've outlined everything. And I also talk to them about their credit and advise them on how it will impact their credit and what's their best courses of action in regards to the loan. Now, of course, most people do not listen to the best courses of action, nor do they follow it, but I still like to provide it. So I remember this day I was working, the lines were so long. Like we had so many people in the office trying to get a loan. And I believe it was like 10 people. And for those of you that do loan processing, you know that's a lot of people to be coming in office at one time requesting a loan. And you got to do underwriting because we let them know whether they're approved before they walk out the door. Like, you know, before you leave if you're approved or not. So, and which is another reason why I like the company. There's no, things are up in the air, you're not too sure. And if you're not approved and you're tentatively approved, I write down on a piece of paper and sign exactly what you need to bring in to help us move forward with the rest of the process, or so we can further look into it to see if we're even going to consider you. So yeah, so I'm going through the list. I'm like, hey, my name is Koya, and I'm providing like great feedback. I'm getting them approved, getting their information, and passing them a ticket so they know what order they are in as far as their contract being ready, or knowing if they're approved or denied, because we let you know if you're approved or denied before we write the contract, obviously. So I remember I was on number 15, even though it, hold on, let me see. Was I on 15? I think, no, I was on 10. I was on 10. And this woman comes in and she's pregnant. And I'm like, okay, she's pregnant. She's going to have pregnancy emotions. But of course, I deal with a lot of pregnant people. That's not a problem. unfortunately a lot of pregnant people be coming in to get loans. Um, so I'm like, okay, that's not a problem. So I go up to her, I greet her and the man that she's with, and it's mostly the man doing the talking. And I let him know what all I needed to see, what all they needed to provide me. And they went ahead, I gave them the kiosk so they could go ahead and type their information in before even needing to pull up the additional information that they need to provide me. There we go. So they're on the kiosk, they're typing their information in. I'm working on contracts, like I'm calling numbers, number 4, number 5, number 6, and we're going through it like that. So as they're coming up, I'm reading the contract to them, letting them know, going over whether they're okay with it, whether they're not, whatever stipulations they have questions about, their concerns, etc. So I'm on number 5. This woman comes back up to the front. Hey, do you know when you'll be ready for us? I'm like, well, have you turned in the kiosk? They're like, no, we haven't turned it in yet. We haven't finished. I'm like, okay, well, once you finish, it'll automatically print out a number to let you know what number you're in line. It's based off of when you complete the first step. That's it. So I'm back to reading out the contracts. She's taking so long with the kiosk that 5 more people have came in line, filled out the kiosk, turned it back in. Now, some people be filling out the kiosk with mumbo jumbo bullshit and that's information. So we check all information, obviously, immediately. Because if we're letting you know now, instead of giving you a 2 to 3 business day wait period so we can actually verify the information, we're obviously going to check it all in-house. So yeah, so 5 more people come up. They're giving their tickets. Now we're at 15 people, but I've already read out all the way up to number 6. So it's basically around 9 people. And then she comes up, she gives me her kiosk, and I'm like, okay, that's great. And I was like, you both applied? She was like, no, just him, right? I'm like, well, as long as it's just going to be under his name, that's fine. But if you're also going to be on his application, you need to apply as well. And so they're sitting there going back and forth about that because she's being combative because she doesn't want to put her name on it for whatever reason. And I'm guessing she wasn't really working, but he was like, this will be perfect to build both of our credit. It doesn't really matter whether you're working. And she's like, I don't want to put my name on it and I'm not working. And then you stop paying it for whatever reason and then my credit tanks. But the items, the stuff that he's trying to get with the loan, all of it is for her. So basically, she's going to run off with the merchandise. You're going to be stuck paying this loan, and she doesn't want her name on it because she's not currently working. Whatever floats y'all boat, okay? Whatever floats y'all boat. So after a while, she decides that she's going to apply. That's fine. Few more people come in. They filled out their kiosks. They've turned their kiosks in. So now we're up to like 20. I've only read out 6 because my coworkers, the 4 coworkers, because it was the other Leo is not there today, hence why I'm the only one talking to people. They're working on the contracts and everything, and they're verifying everybody's employment, how much they make, their last 2 check stubs from their job, their references. Of course, their housing and their utility bills are also verified because if you can't pay your lights, you're not going to pay us. I don't know why people come in with a $900 light bill over the course of 4 months and tell us, don't worry about that. I'm going to pay that off later. Just let me get this loan. No, because if you're not paying them, you're not paying us, and our loans can't be used on utilities. So it would make no sense for us to go ahead and give you the loan. So yeah. So we're going through that. They're like, hey, we're a little stocked up on the contracts. Can you help with that? I'm like, okay, cool. There's no new customers coming up. It's just the people that already have numbers. So I start typing up contracts myself, calling and verifying information, everything. So of course, during this time, there's a few fake check stubs, a few fake leases, and all of those people are getting denied. Now we're down to about 12 people. Okay, so I'm about to add some clarity just so you understand. There is a long and extenuating process. Step 1 is filling out the tablet application. Then you're provided a number of where you are in that line. Step 2 is providing your required documents after you've been approved or tentatively approved. And step 3 is us actually creating your contract because we verified said documents and reading your contract out to you. Okay.
So if you've moved up in step one and you're first in step one, but then it takes you 2 hours to get your documents, 10 other people come in, they apply, they're approved, and they submit their documents and their documents are approved. Now they move on to step three and they're ahead of you in line. There is a line for each step: step one, step two, step three. Explain the steps in the beginning, of course, out of respect. And each time they move on to a different segment out of the three steps, we let them know their place in line and what step they're on as well, and what's the final steps left.
There's been a few denials. The lady comes back up and she's like, hey, excuse me, when are you going to call our number? I'm like, ma'am, you haven't turned back in your kiosk. She was like, oh, well, here, I'm done. I just put it back. You put it back, but you didn't say anything. She put it back on the stand, meaning she reached over the counter, put it back in the stand instead of letting us know that she's finished so we can give her the ticket. So I'm like, well, ma'am, because of what you did, we didn't know that you were finished yet. So I'll go ahead and give you your ticket. And it doesn't really matter because regardless, you're the same number in line because you completed it at the same time. So then my coworkers let me know, hey, we're done with these 4 contracts. Go up there and read them out. So I start presenting those contracts. As I'm presenting these contracts, she realizes that these are people that came after her, leaving before her with their approvals. And she notices that a lot of people have left. So she's now mad. She's like, excuse me, what the fuck is going on? Because we came before them. Why are we not being called before them? Why are we still waiting? I'm like, ma'am, you just turned everything in literally 5 minutes ago. Meaning your wait just started. We have to verify all of your information that you've provided today. And it's based on how long your job takes to get back to us with the employment verification. That's going to be your longest wait, because that is the longest wait. So moving forward, after me and her say that, her man's trying to calm her down. He's like, calm down. She was like, no, because we've been here for hours. We've been here for hours. Yes, you've been here for hours because you're a fucking dummy. You're applying for a loan. You didn't want to put your name on the loan. Then you had an attitude. You spent more time arguing than filling out the application. By the time you filled out the application, 3 to 4 hours had fucking went by. It does not take that long to fill out the application. It's just generic information. The rest of the stuff you show us digitally or an email to us so we can verify. That should have never taken you that long to put in your name, how much money you make, and your references, and the amount that you're requesting. It should have never taken that long. So I ain't say none of this because that's unprofessional and disrespectful and that's ghetto, but that's what I'm thinking. But what I told her was, I was like, look, calm down. We're going to get to you as soon as possible. Their number is ahead of you because they completed their loan application prior to you. Even though you came a few hours before them, you still completed your application afterwards. So please do continue to bear with us. Baby, she was talking shit. She was going in. She was like, yeah, because these bitches unprofessional. They don't know how to do their job. No, you're a fucking dumbass. You don't even have a job. There's no way it should have took you that long to fill out the information and you don't have a job. That doesn't make sense. You're grown. You should know your name, your address, your references, etc. And then she was like, and are you going to even call these references? Are you going to call these references? Because I don't want to put no references down if you're gonna call them. I'm like, ma'am, if you don't want your references called, you'll be declined because with no references is an automatic decline. And she was like, well, what if I don't know that many people? I was like, well, then we can't trust you. That's just how we operate. If you can't fill out the required number of references that can speak toward gratuity towards you, we can't approve you.
Okay, so just some more clarity. The references is a rule for the company. I'm not too sure why. It makes no fucking sense. Because Dorothy Sue, your fucking neighbor, is not going to know whether you pay your bills on time and whether you're good with paying your bills. Your old manager and coworker is not going to know if you pay your light bill on time. Having references to apply for a loan actually makes no fucking sense to me because their credit score is their reference, but that was a company requirement and it was stupid as hell because a lot of people move to Georgia, don't have no friends and family here, or they're leaving bad situations, so they have no one to vouch for them. We usually help people that are starting themselves back up all over again.
And so that was that. Now my coworker that's working on her information was like, I'm about to decline her. I'm about to decline her. She doesn't need a loan. If she's gonna be like this now, imagine how she's gonna be once she's on the books, and we're gonna have to deal with this. And then what if she stops paying? we're gonna be really getting the shit into the stick if she's acting like this now that she's asking for money. Imagine how she's gonna act after she got the money. And I understood where my coworker was coming from, because you don't really want to. You try to lighten your load. You don't want to add a whole bunch of shit to it. But I was like, look, she's probably just pregnant. We're gonna chalk it all off to pregnancy hormones, and let the pregnancy be the reason why she's more than likely acting the way she's acting. And we're not going to hold her accountable, because who knows, when she comes back later after she didn't have the baby, she's probably going to be way more cool, way more calm and collected. Now, in the midst of all of this, one of our current someone that's currently on the books comes in to make their payment. Can't go too in depth. So when he comes in, he's like, yeah, what y'all have for lunch? And we're like, we haven't even had nothing because it's been busy. You see all these people? And we had more people coming up to apply now. He was like, well, what y'all want for lunch? And we like pizza. So he's like, I'm going to go get y'all some pizza. This bitch, y'all don't need no fucking pizza. Y'all can't even do y'all job. Girl, you've only been waiting 15 minutes. And if your references answer the fucking phone, you be out of here. They're not even answering the phone. They're probably fucking fake numbers. Really getting sick and tired of her ass. So then she comes back up and she was like, first of all, you're being real disrespectful. Ignore me. I'm sitting down at this point working on contracts because there's no one to talk to because we have no contracts finished at this point. It's literally like 3 to 4 people applying. And we've gotten a lot of people out the door. So I believe it was like 5 people left other than the 4 people that are currently applying. And I mean 5 people including her. Okay? And most of those are the people that came after her because a couple of them was denied. So we're going back and forth with her like, ma'am, you need to calm down. Let us go ahead and work on your information. It takes time. And right now, your references are failing to answer the phone. So if you could call them and let them know that we're calling the numbers that you provided us, that would be absolutely amazing. So they can actually answer. And because a lot of people will not answer unknown numbers. That's just normal. It's normal. Some people don't do it. So yeah. His job sends the information. We're squared away there financially. So I'm like, okay, we can tentatively approve them and have them wait until we're able to get in contact with the references to actually be approved. But everybody knew that going ahead and saying that to her was going to be getting cussed the fuck out. Okay, cussed the fuck out. So she comes up and she's like, well, what the fuck is going on? What's the hold up now? Ma'am, you're applying for a loan. You're applying for a loan. You are asking us to lend you money and to deem you credible. And you keep coming up here cussing us out. She was like, yeah, bitch, because I'll jump over this counter. My coworker was like, I'm about to press the security button so they can escort her out of here. I was like, oh, shit. I have never had somebody threaten to fight me at my job. Well, actually, at that job, I had a whole lot of people threaten to fight me, shoot me, a whole bunch of shit. Like, when it comes to money, people is funny. But that was my first instance where somebody's in my face threatening to fight me. Just being weird. I was like, well, ma'am, I'm going to go ahead and let our manager service you moving forward. And I'm going to let you wait until he comes in because I'm not going to service you anymore. And right now, I'm the only representative that's currently handling contracts. He'll be in about 30 minutes. And I reported the situation to the manager because she had threatened me. And baby, just in case, I need y'all to know in advance, because if she jump over this table and put her hands on me, who the fuck, what? Y'all don't pay me enough to y'all don't pay me enough to be professional in that situation. So at that point, she was really mad. Like, girl was fuming. He's trying to calm her down, get her to go sit down. He's like, look, now we got to wait even longer because of what you did. Yeah, because, baby, I refuse service. One thing about me, when I'm working customer service, if I ain't liking your energy, I'm refusing service because you're not about to threaten me. You're not about to try and fight me over some stupid, goofy-ass, silly shit. And you're definitely not about to be mad at me when I'm trying to approve you. And I really should have declined you because it's seeming like some of them references is fake. Yeah, go play with somebody else. Go play with somebody else. So at that point, I just ignored her altogether. Anytime she came back up to say anything, ignored. Why? The manager's not here. We explained to you your application was escalated to the manager because of how you're acting. Nobody got time to be called bitches at work because you need some money. No. So yeah, she was very, 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 very disrespectful. And y'all, I should tell, oh my God, that job, I got so much shit I could tell y'all about. I should tell y'all about the time somebody threatened to shoot me, but Yeah, because I was like, sir, but is you gonna pay the $50 or what? Is you gonna pay it or what? Because at this point, why are you threatening me? Now, mind you, the main thing when I worked in that job, I was a loan processor. Eventually, they moved me over to collections. I loved collections because when I tell you, I was like, whatever account I can get closed that's already paid over, I'm closing it. It's paid over. Like, I'm not about to hound nobody and stress somebody out about money they've technically paid back 10 times full. No, I don't think that's right. And baby, in some states that shit is illegal, and they need to make it illegal in all states. That's why I was definitely the bomb. Yeah, I remember one time we had during Christmas we have competitions. It's either which store can get the most loans out or the most funds collected. When I tell y'all we was always in the top 10 because I'm that bitch. Why? Because the customers love me. Like, they loved me because I was sweet. It's nothing to treat people with kindness. It's nothing to treat people how you want to be treated, especially in these situations. And nobody's gonna come up here and show me that they have cancer and I'm hounding them about some money they owe that they've already paid back 10 times full. That's just not how I operate. I was the best. Let me tell y'all what happened when I finally quit. In fact, I'm not gonna go too in depth because that could be its own story time because a lot happened. But when I finally quit that job, all of a sudden, like, I turned in my 2 week notice written on a little piece of paper, and my manager was like, what could be done to keep you here? No. Y'all, when I tell y'all why I quit, y'all gonna stand by me because what the fuck? They had me fucked up. But the director had called me and he was like, hey, what can we do to keep you on the team? Oh, now it's crazy, y'all, because all of a sudden now you're willing to pay me the money that I've been asking for the last 6 months. And then some, just to keep me on the team when you could have just paid it to me. Hi, love. When you could have just paid me what I requested the first time. And one thing about me, once I have already applied for another job and gotten the new job, it doesn't matter what you offer me, I'm not staying. Because that means that you could have provided it to me when I asked for it initially. It's a no for me. But I gotta go cook. Y'all have a great day.